smoking motherfucker, don't come around me with no bait. Got your bitch under the cover, sucking on me like a bait. It's the hero of the dog, but I don't ever wear a cape. Take a pic and then I spark until the blunt evaporate. They know the bait was suicide, too deep when I ride. Ruby getting out for the pills that I supply. The screws are bound, flat tires and an 06 Chevy. Looking like I'm Bloody Mary, sipping codeine and berry. I'm down the darko when I smoke up and I'm creeping like Frank. Raising the chopper right at your face and after that I go blank. Cause sucking it off the hinges with syringes shooting up my veins. Rather be left alone, I don't care to know your name.
Pull up in the Lamborghini just so you can see me swerving to a telephone pole. My skeleton broke for really smoking mark. Put my ashes in the blunt like a fry, your vision blurred. You might just learn how to be the cherry has seen the world.
Watch me flex like I'm in the next. Like the job was next in line for heaven, but then I get dressed in the devil come full of that fucking insecticide. The shakes inside my dead body. Ironically, after I do was identified by something gotta be specified. Cause the way there was intensified. Tracking the lick, they made a mistake because young Blade was recognized. The sun turned black, the sky replaced by the face with giant red eyes. Christ cannot compare, we cannot say we breaking murder one. Suicide boys can relate to the revelation because we did inside.
Here we go.
Compliments to the plug, popping all these fucking drugs. Look at what the fuck it does. Truly, nigga, I could give a fuck. Blowing smoke like nigga, we up. Somehow things always tend to fall apart. You see, Molly, she was a work of art. Nightlife so bright in the dark. Lit as fuck, lit as fuck. Me and mines, we ain't lit enough. Only live once, so we live it up. Only live once, so we live it up. Hell no, you ain't lit as us. Hell no, you ain't lit as us. Compliments to my drug dealer. Compliments to my drug dealer. We get high, we get bent, we get lit in this bitch. Don't get it twisted, no, don't get it twisted. We get high, we get bent, we get lit in this bitch. No, don't get it twisted, no, don't get it twisted. No more smoke, get more high. Yeah, that's all the time, that's all on my mind. No more smoke, we get more high. Yeah, that's all the time, that's all on my mind. True to this shit, I'm so new to this shit. Not new to this shit, I'm not through with this shit. I mean, look at the haters, look clueless and shit. Me, I'm smoking on papers, but no, not Khalifa. Just me and my niggas, a couple of women. Drinking on gallons, don't make any sense. We get high, we get bent, we get lit in this bitch. Get into you niggas, no homo, my nigga. Me deep in your feelings. Mad that we winning. Certified, just the beginning. Like somebody done let Cujo off his leash. Either you wolf or you boo with the sheep. Roots to this shit, boy, in silence we keep. Silence is real, never talk to police. Cause where we come from, that shit there is indecency. Fuck the so losers, I be with the winners. We get high, we get bent, we get lit in this bitch. Don't get it twisted, no, don't get it twisted. We get high, we get bent, we get lit in this bitch. No, don't get it twisted, no, don't get it twisted. No more smoke, get more high. Yeah, that's all the time, that's all on my mind. No more smoke, we get more high. Yeah, that's all the time, that's all on my mind. Get high, that's on my mind all the time. Get high, that's on my mind all the time. My mind. Get high, that's on my mind all the time. Certified for your So, and there you have it. Fucking bastards.
What is up, pimps? It's your boy Cree. What's up, guys? What's up? Glad to see y'all. 3 of y'all on this mother. Man, what a day. I needed this. It was such a good day. I was able to get a few things squared away. They changed my off days at work, and normally I'd be at work right now, but we're here, no doubt, and because of that, I was able to see my girls on their way out to school. It was great, man. Been a long time. Just the day, man. I couldn't believe it. The events. We have some really fun stuff to watch, okay? You guys ready for a good time? We have unearthed MARCWRLD's TikTok, okay? I know there was a few of y'all that was kind of curious about what was going on with it and everything, and I never cared to really look into it or try to, get it out there. But, we're here. We can watch it. I think you're going to like it. See what that guy's been doing underneath a rock this whole time. But let me go ahead and square up this. I wanted some ambience, man. Hang on. Let's see. So the subject matter first we're going to talk about is the whole... I had made a video about Ryan. The other night I was playing the Dead Island 2, and there was a character in there named Ryan that came up, and then I was just like, oh shit, guys, did you see that last video? I'm sure it was all over the Patreon. I was kind of on the fence about getting signed up to the Patreon, but I didn't want to be in a place that I wasn't going to be like really useful there. It'd be wrong for me to get the Patreon just to jump up and air it all out to the public, because you got to pay. You got to pay for that paywall, right? And some of the things that I do or talk about on here, I don't want to like spoil it for the people that do pay. So we can just kind of tie up the loose ends about one of the videos I had made, though. But I was live on the PlayStation. It got brought up. There was some comments afterwards from a few people that talked about, this or that or whatever. And it kind of tied up some loose ends on that too, because the long-standing thing was there was this thing about Karina was talking about all this money. Well, the people that were saying that didn't quite relay or convey what it was truly over. And I think even I was wrong, guys. I think maybe the money requests she was talking about was simply on account of, in that same very video that Ryan had did, he starts spouting off 17 grand here, 5 grand there. So, guys, I'm thinking that was the money, in fact, that they were talking about. I think there was just a bunch of mix-up of what it was over. And, eventually over time, it all got kind of put on Patreon or whatever. So there was that. So, if you want to support Ryan and Ryan's family, run over to the Patreon, sign right up, tell them Cree sent you. Other than that, I'm sure you'd be there if you was a true Ryan fan. So once again, RIP to Ryan. But that last video, let's talk about it, guys. I said in one clip, I was like, it looked like he was missing teeth, and he had put on some weight. He even sounded like his voice was like hoarse. Like he sounded like he was at a concert hollering. Like that's when I said that video was terrible, guys, I meant like it was just terrible all the way around. I'm sure he was heavily medicated because you just can't stop doing it, and that was probably, it was just a bad last day. I would hate to be feeling that way under those terms, there was some things I'd said, like watching that video, the only thing that was running through my mind was this poor guy. Like it didn't look like him. It didn't sound like him. It was just not the genuine Ryan that we all know. And part of me wanted to like clip it on behalf of, just in case it's away, because she did put it online, and she had put down that sorry guys, stupid emergency alert. she put down the, you know, don't say anything mean, which I agree, you know, but if she's comfortable putting a video like that with him walking around looking like that, that's fine. I mean, Ryan did truly live his life on the net, did he not? I mean, that was one of the things. He, when you sign up for being a superstar, you know, that's kind of like the light you got to deal with. And, you know, for better, for worse, rich or poor, ugly or pretty, you know. I think she should still keep putting out some Ryan content on the YouTube because I haven't seen anything placed there. And she said she was gonna. Karina, you said you were gonna, so we'll see. But for the most part, I think she's hemming up the Patreon supporters first because they deserve it. They're the ones keeping this shit together. Yeah, my whole operation. You know, that's the kind of thing, the vibe or whatever. So, other than that, yeah, like, but yeah, this was like my rebuttal / review of that one clip I posted the other night. And okay, man, why is this, damn, dude. Anyway, no, here we go. Sorry, guys. Jeez. And if you want to support, once again, like I said, go over there and check that out. What all y'all been up to? Y'all been hanging out? It was a nice, pretty day. We have the rest of the week to go. Is anybody ready for this MARCWRLD TikTok, man? I think you're gonna like it. Let's zip on over here. Let's take Ryan out of there. We just had to talk for a minute. But there was some other things I wanted to bring up that we can discuss. You know, some of these drug tubers, they are, these prison tubers. People say that sometimes there are moles or people that infiltrate and everything. And there was this, like, I don't want to say recent YouTuber because I've known of it for a while, but it burns me up to see his ugly little face and his ugly little beady eyes, guys. You guys ever heard of that kid named Ian Black? The dude. Now, they said that one guy was like a sleeper cell undercover infiltrator. I think he was his name's Johnny or something. Who gives a fuck about that guy anyway? But this Ian Black kid, he just, you got to see this. It's really hard to stomach. But he's that tuber. So, but before we get on to that stuff, let's go to the old TikTok. Mars, if you're out there watching, join the panel. Blah blah blah. It's been a while since they heard from me. Hey, Morton says he's ready. I'm ready too, Morton. Let's get this on. Now, Mars said to you all that he is done with YouTube. I don't know why he would want to cut off a body part of his that means the most, I feel like. Because, excuse me. sorry, one of D-Saw's chilling came up in here. Threw me off track. Okay, yeah, so he's leaving YouTube because he wants to expand his market and his brand onto a different site. And that's okay. That's fine. But my thing was like, well, how come you just don't do them both? You know, you can take your TikTok vids, Mars, and you can put them on YouTube, and then you can live on TikTok if you want to. I don't care. But for your fans here, Mars, you do have a root fan base here. So for the fan base here that ain't going to get to see it, or if you don't have a TikTok, let's go, guys. Let's jump on this shit. Let's start you off easy because this TikTok's a little brutal, guys, okay? We got the share screen? Okay. All right. Brace yourself. This is going to be pretty hardcore. You see that? Feel the wrath of the sexiness, ladies. Okay. Y'all ready for the next one? This is gonna blow your mind. Hey, what's up, DG? Just in time, brother. Here we go. Oh, wait, sorry.
Tell the skinny hoes to point me where the thick hoes at. He want a flat booty bitch, I'm not with all that. I got chills for days and I got wheels for weeks. I bring out the fleet and it. Tell the skinny hoes to point me where the thick hoes at.
Okay, now when I saw this video some time ago, I was like, Was that Mars in the bathroom watching this chick do some, you know what? But no, it was determined to be another function of the world. You'll see.
On a flat booty bitch, I'm not with all that. I got chills for days and I got wills for weeks. I bring out the fleet and it till the skinny hoes to point me where the thick hoes at.
Okay, guys, she's brushing her teeth. She's brushing her teeth. It looked like she was going down to hit some fetty, but no, she was brushing her teeth. Let's move it along, shall we? Hit it. Now, this is that dog. Remember the dog he did? He had dyed its hair. Y'all remember that? He dyed its hair. Hit it. Just chilling. Now, I'm wondering if this is at the house in Indiana, maybe? So, yeah. Look, that's the face for Hollywood, guys. Come on. What y'all think in the chat? Y'all like this TikTok so far? I like it. Are you filming? All right, go. So this was a old video. We had played it here. Yeah. Yeah. You know, old video still though. Uh-oh, that boy lucky. Let's see that again. Knowing damn well that boy didn't take none of them girls home, did he? MARCWRLD TikTok, boy. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pics. I used it in a thing before.
I don't care. I'm in my pretty girl era. I'm a stare when I see myself in the mirror. Oh, it's the season, it's that party time of the year. I don't care.
What up, Kate? I don't know how either. But yeah, guys, Mars unleashed his TikTok on the world some time ago, and we had found it. But aside from all that,
just all the pain that's caused me. All the emotional pain it's caused me, the paranoia, just a slow taper.
dude, I was so foobarred the other night. And when I was trying to open up this peanut butter jar, I was like, oh, the pain it caused me. Yeah. That's immediately what I thought. Okay.
We feel how we feel inside. It may seem a little crazy, pretty baby, but I promise mama's gonna be alright. And if you ask me to, daddy's gonna buy you a mockingbird. I'm gonna give you the world. I'm gonna buy a diamond ring for you. I'm gonna sing for you. I'll do anything.
Alright, so just some more photos. I think this one's an old one too. Let's see. That looks like it may have been in a hotel or something, but yeah. So that was that on that. Hope you guys like MARCWRLD's TikTok. Now, do you want to check out this other thing that I had been... Oh, what are you doing, man? What you doing? Sorry. Now, this guy... I'm like, man, of all times to come on YouTube and be a prison tuber, this guy does not look the part, okay? He, man, ooh, it burns me up seeing this, guys. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of him. Let's see, we'll bring him up. This guy right here, I think he's the infiltrator, okay? He likes to talk about, oh, look, he did an interview with Johnny Mitchell. That's the other guy. So 2 narcs interviewing each other. How convenient, right? Let's see. Let me give you a little short. Let's see. Sorry. Damn it, hell. I don't know why the audio's not working here. Hang on. Back out. Go to a vid. Oh, look, a prison guard.
I'm in federal prison. I spent the last year of my 36-month sentence at the Oxford prison camp in Wisconsin. While at this camp, a prison guard, a male prison guard, came on to me in an inappropriate manner. On today's episode, I want to tell you guys about that. When I first got to the Oxford prison camp in Wisconsin, a camp that holds about 120 inmates, I was stationed to work in the kitchen as a baker. I would wake up at 4 in the morning and bake the muffins, bake the pastries. We would make fresh pizza dough. It was a scratch bakery, essentially. We had cookies, we had different desserts. It was a really fun job because I came from a culinary background and I was excited to be in the kitchen. On the morning shift, there was this guard who was this skinny, pencil-shaped looking guy, always had his pants tucked up high, his, collared shirt.
Why is he like describing everything to a T, like from the wardrobe, the body shape?
It was like a polo shirt, but it had the Bureau of Prisons logo on it, a light blue color, tucked in, always drinking like this big jug of water, kind of smelled a little off, and he was just a creepy guy.
No, you're the creepy
When
guy,
I would be
actually.
in line for the chow hall, he would be stationed. They would have the guards stationed at the end of the line, checking IDs and making sure no one's skipping the line or getting extra meals. And every time this man worked, he was always staring at me. And the other inmates would take notice to this. Sometimes he was overly friendly. He would come up and say hello. He would check in how I was doing. Nothing really too wrong with this, except for the red flag that he was literally always staring at me. One day, probably about a month or so into my job as the baker, I was woken up on my bunk. It was like 3:30 or 4 in the morning, and I went into my job. The guards would come around after the count time in the morning, and they'll wake the inmates up for their jobs if they're not up yet. Nice alarm clock, and I get woken up by this guard, and I go to work like everything was normal. The only difference was I was working alone that day. I didn't have my bunkmate working with me, which was a little weird. But this officer had told my bunkmate who worked in the bakery with me that he wasn't needed that day, and that inmate Bick was the only one needed. So, I guess you could say it was a red flag. I wasn't really thinking too much into it, but it was a little bit sketchy. I didn't really mind this guy. I liked talking. I liked having conversation. I'm an open, personable person, and I never expected for it to go the way that it was about to go. I'm standing over the muffin trays, and I'm scooping muffin mix out of this bucket of, muffin mix, and I'm scooping it into the trays, and we're having a conversation, and then he awkwardly comes around to the side of me, and he starts rubbing my elbow very creepily. I'm on the left, he's on the right, and he's just like massaging it. And
Damn, Kay.
I look to the right to see if maybe he accidentally brushed up beside me, and he wasn't. He's just creepily rubbing this elbow. And then, it moved from the elbow down to the side of my leg, and he's touching my leg a little bit. And when I say this was the creepiest thing I've ever experienced in my
And I'm
life.
like, yeah, all right.
You know,
And then he gets
that might
down
be
on
an
his knees
understatement
while I'm sitting on the couch. And he tries to take my pants off. And I'm like, what the fuck?
in
You know, like
itself.
fucking,
And I'm just
why the
standing
fuck
there
so loud,
continually
man?
to scoop this muffin mix because I didn't know what to do in this situation. You know, do I push him away? Do I hit him? Am I like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? But I also knew at the time that one, you couldn't hit a guard. It was going to be my word against his. There's no cameras inside the kitchen.
you?
Something actually a
clown?
fun fact. There's very rarely cameras inside these low security federal prisons and minimum security camps. They have some on the perimeter, but there's usually never inside. And so he's doing this. I'm thinking like, what the? My face is probably turning really red. I'm really nervous. And I'm just like continually scooping this muffin mix while he's doing this. Eventually he stops and I take it to my bunkmate, this information. I leave for my shift. I take it to my bunkmate and I'm like, dude, what do I do? Like, what are we going to do? And it was like, well, you know, you should report it. That's what the advice that they gave to me. And other inmates were knowing around the compound that he was a weird guy and he was also a super cop. So a lot of the inmates didn't like him, but he was nice to me, which made it stand out. He was always giving me extra portions. He was letting me smuggle out bricks of Philadelphia cream cheese out of the kitchen. He was letting me do extra things that a typical inmate wouldn't have been allowed to do. And
Boy,
he
he
was kind
wanted
of an
that
asshole to
payback,
everyone
didn't he?
else. So I tell my bunkmate, and he tells me to report it. And I was very hesitant. I didn't want to report it. I didn't want to be that guy to report this. One, I was embarrassed by what had happened to me and that he touched me. Two, I was kind of like in denial. I was like, well, you know, maybe he didn't mean to do that, or it was just like a one-time thing and it wouldn't happen again.
Hey,
And
what's up,
three,
Justin?
I knew that in the prison system, when you report allegations like this against guards, one, it's very possible that they'll retaliate against you. And two, they usually always remove the inmate from the situation.
Okay, let's remove you from this situation. Let's see two narcs.
On
talk to
today's
each other.
episode of Locked In,
Like already, like weed is like game, right? There was people selling indoor grown weed, and that was like, we called that killer or kill, right? And that was the most expensive shit. That was like premium. And then there was what we called commercial weed. That was outdoor weed. Still really good though. Looked like a lot of weed grown indoors,
Man, shut
but it
up,
was actually
dude.
outdoor bud. And that's because when you have the best price for us, dealer, at dorks and
Show the weirdo.
door and somebody opens.
consequences at all? Like, if I keep doing this, like, I could potentially go to prison.
Look at this shit.
We never thought about prison back in the day. We never college world. You know what I mean? Like it was such a bizarre era. You know what I mean? Like, so you had this criminality going on with college kids who would then go off to like I think I went to Spanish class after that happened, you know, shaking because I had just been held up. Right. So it was, you know, we were living, just got a speeding ticket. That was grower. So we were in Washington Heights. We weren't that. We get like kicked out of Columbia is about
Are they even
and
doing
just
anything?
wrong and you know, it's fentanyl's probably, you could argue it's ruining America, but still it's kind of fascinating that these, you know, uneducated peasants treat their product like they're selling Pepsi or something like that. So that's what appealed to me.
The mindset you had, though, that wasn't normal for someone your age to have. Like, what are your
Look at this
friends
guy.
thinking of you at this time?
I don't know. I mean, I think they kind of liked it. I think they thought it was a little.
I don't know, when I was promoting.
This guy looks like he'd be somebody's bitch. I'm serious. There's no way this kid, he looks like a 12-year-old. I mean, hell no.
Parties
Prison
and, you know, selling concert tickets and building like that nightclub business.
Yeah.
Because that was like
Yeah.
unique and different for me. And to build that, it was just very much different than what my friends were doing.
Yeah, and it's like a cool way to get money. Like you're not just making money; you're making money a flyway.
Yeah.
You know, like back in the days, the only acceptable ways to make money in our culture was like sports, drugs, or entertainment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because why else? You don't want to be like a lawyer to go, you know, off to some corporate office and yeah, you make $100,000 a year, but you fucking what? Like a lame, like a square. So
Yeah, like that, dude. Let's see. Man, he said stabbing their parents in their sleep. What the? Oh, yeah, this was the one he was so proud of. He was, Let me see. Hold on.
Hey guys. So, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but about 2 weeks ago, I recorded an episode for my podcast, Locked In with Ian Bick. And in that podcast, I got asked a question about whether or not I paid for protection. So on this clip, I want to explain to you guys what exactly happened during my time in federal prison that caused me to pay for protection, essentially. And now that 1 minute clip that I put out on all my social media literally blew up, went crazy, almost 8 million views as of this moment on YouTube Shorts, you know, a couple million on TikTok, a few million on Facebook. It's even blowing up on Instagram. And then No Jumper reposted it. Daily Wire reposted it. It just went viral everywhere.
He knows what he's doing.
And I think everyone's just curious about why this white, nerdy kid with glasses not only went to prison, but why he had to pay for protection. And that white,
he looks like he went to prison and had fun, dude. Look at him.
Nerdy kid we're talking about is me. So if you guys aren't familiar with my story, I want to make it short and sweet real quick. I was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison when I was 21 years old for wire fraud and money laundering. In January of 2015, I was indicted on 15 federal charges of money laundering, wire fraud, and making a false statement. I ended up going to trial, getting found guilty on half of the counts. And this is while I was all running one of the biggest nightclubs in Connecticut for electronic dance music, which was called Tuxedo Junction. And I booked all these crazy acts, Steve Aoki, the Chainsmokers, Big Sean, all of these different things. Anyways,
never heard of him except for Big Sean.
That's not why we're here today. I want to break down exactly what happened during my time called Fort Dix in New Jersey. And my first couple months there.
Man, they stuck him in the most booty bandit-ridden prison probably in all the country.
I'm moving around, you know, trying to figure out how the compound works. I'm getting involved in a lot of things I probably shouldn't have got involved with because I was just like this energetic young 21-year-old that wanted to get involved in everything. I wanted to shoot dice. I wanted to, you know, go rent a cell phone time. I wanted to see what everyone was doing. I was super nosy. I was that kid that was walking around and looking in people's cells, not because, you know, I wanted to get anyone in trouble, but because I was so curious about how the prison system worked because it was my first time in prison. And so I'm doing all this moving around. I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying to be friendly with everyone. And I don't know how the prison politics worked. I never went to my specific car, which is like the gang kind of in prison, in federal prison, where I could show them my paperwork and say, hey guys, I'm straight. You know, I'm not a snitch. I'm not a sex offender. This is my paperwork. This is what I'm in prison for. And, you know, let's all run together. So I didn't have anyone to kind of look after me in that sense. And so it wasn't.
Yeah, this kind of guy, I don't care if his paperwork was good. I couldn't see myself being around him or talking to him.
Long before I was just moving around way too much. And one day I'm walking in the hallway and these two, you know, big black guys come up to me. They were a part of the Philadelphia car, I believe. They came from Philly. And they had just came, they were doing 20 or 30 year sentences. They were down to their last 10 years, and they were now at the low security prison, Fort Dix. So to them, I was fresh prey, fresh meat, whatever you want to call it. You know, guys were talking that I was new on the compound. At that point, no one had really checked my paperwork. Had they known my paperwork was straight and that guys, you know, I was riding with a car, this probably never would have happened. But because I was ignorant, because I didn't know exactly what was going on, how the prison politics worked, I was alone and didn't have any protection in that sort. So these guys come up to me, and essentially they basically said that
give it up, boy.
They wanted me to not only put money on their books, their commissary books, but they wanted me to buy them a cell phone. And they wanted me to buy them a cell phone. They said I could use that cell phone if I paid them to stash it, bought the phone for them, did all this stuff. It was, you know, straight and narrow as extortion. They wanted money on their books. They wanted the phone. They wanted all these things.
The
They
usual,
give
you
me
know,
this
you know.
piece of paper that shows their inmate number and where I would have my people wire the money to. And, you know, my first sentence was, no, I'm not doing this. I don't know who you are. I'm not getting involved with this. So I did stick up for myself in that sense. One of the guys grabs me by my shirt and, you know, drags me in the bathroom and, you know, pushes me up against the wall. And they're like, you do not have a choice in this matter. Like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to send this money and you're going to, you know, pay for our cell phone. Otherwise, you're going to have to check in. And normally what they would do is make someone that has no good paperwork or someone that's a sex offender or a rat or whatever check in that scenario. Not someone that had straight paperwork, you know, but because I wasn't minding my own business and I was moving around too much, I got myself put into this position. So I gave a little pushback. I said no again, and they slapped the glasses off my face. Now, I know I got a ton of comments on that
taste out that boy's mouth. Look, hold on.
video I posted saying, man, his cheeks are still red from that slap. Well,
Yeah, they are, dude. Man.
guess what, guys? My cheeks are always red. I know I have to go
His
to a
cheeks,
dermatologist
guys. His cheeks are always red. Which cheeks are we talking about here, Ian?
just to check it out. But no, do not
Weirdo.
worry. My cheeks are not still red from that slap that happened like, 6 or 7 years ago now.
Oh,
Anyways,
cheeks.
once that happened, I was faced with a couple different, you know, choices. One, I could either send them the money, which there was no guarantee that they would leave me alone and they would probably ask for more money once I opened that door. Two, I could snitch on them. I could go, you know, to the prison counselors or whatever and tell on them. But, you know, that wasn't an option because someone would have found out. I probably would have gotten severely injured or, you know, maybe even killed if they had found out about it. Or three, which is the third option, you know, I picked, was I started befriending some of the biggest guys in the unit. I gravitated to guys that were in the New York car, which was like the biggest car or gang, you know, group of individuals on the Fort Dix compound because it's right next to New York.
Fort Dix.
And there's a big demographic of New York guys. And I started hanging out with them, some of the bigger guys, some of the guys that were well known. And what I did was they didn't have much money. So I started buying them commissary each week. I would give them, you know, 50, 60 bucks worth of commissary, which to them was a lot because they didn't have much. And whatever they needed, I took care of it for them. There was never an agreement, hey, if I pay you for this, you're going to protect me. It wasn't like that at all. It was just me voluntarily paying these guys who I developed like bonds and friendships with, you know, trying to play my hand to garner some support and garner some protection, essentially like buying friendship. And, you know, it worked. It didn't take long before it was established that other people in the prison looked as me as a hustle to these guys I was now giving commissary to.
Cheeks
so no one
clapped.
wanted
Did you
to
see that? You
screw
see them emos?
with
That was
me
really good. Cheeks clapped.
because it would be affecting these guys' hustles. In a sense, you know, they looked at me as like, I guess you could say, their bitch. But I wasn't their bitch in that sense. I was just someone buying them commissary. But to these guys that had been down for years and
So what do you all think of that in the chat? To avoid being extorted, he goes and approaches some other inmates and forcefully pays them to keep the other inmates from hurting him, essentially, okay? Isn't that still like dry extortion or something? That's what I was thinking. I mean, he still did get extorted, just on his own terms, they say.
and years, that was their hustle, and you didn't want to interfere
that like.
with what they were doing. So what happened was, you know, not long after that, the guys approached me. This is a couple weeks later. The guys approached me again. Where's the money on my books? Where's this? Where's the cell phone? And
That's where he was at.
these guys that I was now paying checked them and said, listen, you got to leave McLovin alone, because McLovin was my nickname in prison. They also called me Bieber because of Justin Bieber. I have, you know, some tattoos that are like Justin Bieber, and I'm this white
I got tattoos. Does that mean I can be Justin Bieber?
young kid moving around like that. And they said to him, he's ours. That's ours right there. And they left me alone, and they didn't bother me. And not longer after that, those guys were eventually pushed off the compound because they kept trying to extort multiple people. They were moving around too hot. They were bringing heat to the unit. And eventually someone plants a cell phone on their bed. They get popped, sent to the SHU, and moved to a medium security prison. So that's exactly the story of my paying for protection. You know, let me know what you guys think about this.
We think you got extorted. So anyway, guys, that was cool. Avoid that clown. He...
Walila.
Yeah, that's his career. But yeah, for the ones that missed, we're gonna go ahead and run through Marshall's Tic Tac one more time. I'm not sure if anybody's seen it or not. Let's see this. Hang on, guys. Let's hook y'all up, because we're about to get out of here. We got Birdman coming up live. I think I'm gonna jump on there and harass him for a minute.
Tell the skinny hoes to point me where the thick hoes at. He want a flat booty bitch, I'm not with all that. I got chills for days and I got wills for weeks. I bring out the fleet and it. Tell the skinny hoes.
Get it. Get it, boy. Oh, where's the good one? Hang on. There we go. Cheers. All right, guys. So that was all the excitement for the day. Thanks for tuning in. For return viewers, hit that like if you wanna. I don't know. We'll check back. We're gonna jump in and out, but be sure to like, subscribe, share, whatever. Tell Mars in the comments how much you like this TikTok. Come on by. Kay said that's a no-go. Yeah. Thanks, love you 2K. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If y'all want to pick back up and check me out, I'm going to see if I can visit on Birdman's here in the next 15, 20 minutes or something. Check out his videos. They're always good. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Nice visit. Nice seeing you all. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. Y'all be safe. Have a good day. I love you all. Peace.